What's up, friends? My name is Veronica, and today I want to talk about tuning your guitar. This is something that's super important to do every time you sit down to play guitar, and there are a ton of different ways to do it. From using a tuning app on your phone, to using an actual physical tuner, to tuning your guitar to itself or to another instrument, all kinds of ways. And eventually I'll break down each of those individual ways in separate videos. But today, just to get the ball rolling, I want to talk about tuning with an app. This is, I think, the quickest and easiest and most accessible way to tune your guitar. And there are a few different avenues we can take with that I'll go over in a moment. Now we're going to tune to what's called E standard tuning, and that is where each of these strings is tuned to a certain note or pitch that makes E standard tuning what it is. It makes all the chords sound good together, and that is pretty much what most guitar playing is based off of, is E standard tuning. So for E standard, each string, starting with the thickest string down to the thinnest string, would be tuned to E, A, D, G, B, and E. And the easiest way to remember that, this is a pretty common mnemonic device for remembering that order, is Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. And I like that because it separates the strings into halves, essentially. So Eddie ate dynamite, that's its own little phrase, E-A-D. Goodbye Eddie, G-B-E at the bottom. If that's a little too graphic for your taste, another one I've heard is elephants and dogs got big ears. Right? You can come up with your own, but it's just a way to remember the order of the strings, and eventually you won't need to use that mnemonic phrase or device. You will just know E-A-D-G-B-E, no problem. But first things first, let's look at the guitar itself and how we can manipulate the string tone with the tuners or the tuning keys or tuning machines or tuning pegs. There's a ton of different names for these things. So I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see my guitar better, and I'll break that down. The way that guitar strings are mounted to your guitar, they start underneath these bridge pins, where these pins are pressed in to hold them in place. They're in a little hole underneath here. Then they cross over this beige piece called the saddle, and they go all the way up the neck, across this other beige piece called the nut, where there's little slots for the strings to sit in. And then they come up and wind around this hardware that's connected, you can see from the back, to these tuning pegs or tuning keys. So when we turn this, one direction the pitch will go up, the other direction the pitch goes down. The string gets looser as the pitch goes down. The string gets tighter as the pitch goes up. So we want to find that perfect spot where the string is at the note we intend for it to be on when we're tuning. So when I'm tuning, I want to constantly be hitting that string to hear what pitch I'm on. And when you're using a tuner, it's actually louder for you to use a pick, as you can hear, so that the tuner can pick up your guitar's pitch a lot easier. So let's look at some online options. There are two different tuning apps I want to show you today. The first is actually through Google. Google has a built-in tuning app. So if you have a web browser, you have a tuner. So I will show you that one. And then the one that I actually prefer, that I use on my phone, it's totally free. It's called Guitar Tuna, T-U-N-A, like the fish. And it's put out by a company called Musician. I'm not sponsored, I promise. I just, through a lot of exploration, I find that one is my favorite out of all the options. So I'll show you how to use that one as well. And you can also use their website. You don't have to make an account or anything. You can just go right to the website and the tuner is right there ready for you. So let's take a look at that. But before we start, when my guitar is tuned, it should sound like this. But since we're learning how to tune, I'm gonna mess it up. So I'm just gonna say take these in different directions so it sounds like this. And let's go get tuned. Okay, so I'm on Google. I'm gonna type in Google Tuner. And as you can see, it's this built-in app already part of the search engine site. So I'm gonna unmute and let's see what happens if I play my low E string. Pretty good. How about A? Thinks it's B. So this is more of like a chromatic tuner. So it's not really telling me what string should sound like what. But if you're looking to tune to a specific note, then this is great. But in the meantime, I'm going to take you to the other one I talked about, which is Guitar Tuna through Musician. And here we have it. So let's give it a little test. Okay. And I like that it shows me what string it thinks I'm tuning. It's on auto right now, so I'll show you what the difference between auto and manual is. Let's see if I can come back up here. Here we go. Okay, so here's my low E string. Now up here where it shows that 15, I want this little bubble to be right in the middle. And it'll actually show a green check mark and give me a little audio cue that tells me it's in tune. So let's try that again. And I'm gonna take the tuning knob that's closest to me on the top of my guitar, as you can see, same as the picture here, and give that a turn. Right now it's too high, so I'm gonna turn the knob toward me to take it a little lower, and there we have it. I'm in tune. Not bad. Okay, next is the A string. So I'm gonna switch over to the middle knob up here at the top. And that's still a little high, so I'm gonna take it down. There I am, right in tune. Okay, next is the D string, so I'm switching knobs here. It's too low, so now I need to turn the knob away from me to make the pitch higher. There we go. Okay, next. I'm actually gonna, so you get the point of the auto setting. I'm gonna switch it over to manual so you can see what that looks like too. So when I'm unclicking this auto button here, and I'm gonna hit the G, and that's what I want the string to sound like. So this is more about note matching. So it knows that I'm on the G string, and I'm a little flat. So I'm gonna turn, this time, now that I'm on the bottom knobs, I'm gonna turn everything the opposite of how I would the top, as if this wasn't confusing enough. So to make the string higher, I'm gonna turn it toward me now. Now if I try to go right to my B string next, I'm in manual mode, so it still thinks I'm trying to tune the G string. So all I have to do is hit the B string, or the B note. It'll play the note that I'm trying to match, and you can hit that button as many times as you want, and then it'll tell me where I'm supposed to be. So now I'm sharp, so I'm gonna take it down. Okay, then I'm gonna hit the E string. That's what I want it to sound like. I'm flat, so I need to go higher in pitch. I'm turning the knob toward me for this one. And there we go. And then we get this cute little ad. If you found this video helpful, hit that thumbs up button so it's easier to find for other people like you who are learning guitar. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel so you can continue to get more videos just like this one. I would love to see you back here more often, and I really appreciate your support. Until next time.